2024 has been a whirlwind year for event marketers. From adapting to audience preferences to embracing innovative tech, the industry has seen some incredible changes. As we wrap up the year, it's the perfect time to reflect on what worked, what didn't, and how these lessons can help us step confidently in 2025. Hello and welcome to Eva Talk by 10 Time. I'm your host, Sonia, and today we have an amazing discussion lined up. Reflections on 2024 and paving the way for 2025 in event marketing. And joining us today is someone who has been recognized as one of the top 100 marketing influencers from technology for marketing. She has got her finger on the pulse when it comes to the latest industry trends in exhibitions and marketing. Meet Georgina Kay, the amazing marketing manager for International Confex and a key member of Smash Media Group. Hey Georgina, it's such a pleasure having you here on Eva Talk. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm very good. It's a pleasure to join you today.
Great. So, looking back at 2024, what were some biggest trends or highlights that you have noticed in event marketing? Were there any unexpected challenges or surprising successes along the way?
Yeah, definitely kind of looking back at 2024, I initially started off as marketing manager for exhibition news. So I've seen a lot in terms of what other people's trends are and also their highlights as well. I definitely have seen a big rise in the use of video for event marketing and the impact that has had on people's socials and on TikTok. And yeah, I definitely think that video has definitely been a big trend that everybody has kind of really gotten the hang of this year in terms of being able to really make that fruitful for their event marketing. And then personally for us at Mash Media, we did the EN Indie Expo and Awards, which is kind of a bigger expansion of the EN Indie conference that we've done previously. And definitely looking back at the marketing for that, I think that the use of speakers and event marketing referrals through platforms like we used Ingo, but also Gleanin and Snowball and stuff like that. Those event marketing referral platforms have been definitely a highlight to be able to use as an event marketer to really see which speakers have been getting the most interest and also the most conversions. A definite challenge has been late sign-ups. It's definitely something that everybody's talking about, and yeah, I definitely think that even as long as you're kind of aware of what your audience does, the challenge of late sign-ups isn't really a challenge until people start dropping out and stuff like that. But as long as you're aware of what your audience does, it kind of really maximizes that kind of last push for your event going into that. And then going into 2025 for International Confex, we've definitely found a big highlight is our use of partners like yourselves and other event industry associations and key people. So yeah, I think partnerships has definitely been an unexpected success going into
Yeah.
2025.
Yeah, so there are some new things like partnership, understanding your audience, going with the trends like how video format of marketing is increasing, especially in Gen Z. So that is something. So it was good to hear about the evolution of this industry, especially even marketing over the past year. So if we talk about some of the evolving trends that you have noticed in the past years, so were there any standout strategies that proved particularly effective in event marketing?
Yeah, I definitely think in terms of like traditional techniques, things like brand awareness, like having that has kind of come back around. We've had a lot of talk, especially at our marketing summit, literally last week, that
Mm-hmm.
the impact that brand awareness has kind of been kind of forgotten, and it's really kind of evolved this past year as being just as important. Something that like Lisa Taylor from Hive said to us was that like 5% of your customers are buying at any one time, but 95% of those are like looking at brand awareness and looking at how your brand is evolving alongside your event, just as much as any kind of impact of other techniques in marketing. And yeah, I think that's kind of keeping a kind of pulse in your brand awareness and how your brand is being, you know, seen and perceived, as well as things like social listening. I definitely think that it's definitely taken a different form with the input, like the impact of SEO and also like social listening on social media. Like all of those techniques has previously been just word of mouth, and it's now kind of evolved in this past year to be more about the tech that's behind it.
As you mentioned about the brand marketing, and I think people are able to relate more with the stories. So if there is good storyline behind any product or any marketing purpose, so that is more captivating. And
Yes, absolutely, totally agree.
yeah, so that was a very good understanding of understanding the thing what really works is important. So I've seen in your profile that one of the key focus in your research is the stakeholder engagement. So, how has this approach of engaging stakeholders in event marketing shifted this year? Like if we talk about 2024?
Yeah, definitely think that the perspectives of not only the people that have buy-in from your event, like your company, because obviously we work in like Mash Media is a company like devoted to events, and I
Mm-hmm.
think stakeholder engagement from probably some in-house event planners. I've been there. I know how hard it is to sometimes get buy-in from your leadership team,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, being able to kind of understand the impact that events have to your bottom line, to your business, how you can really engage customers, and also how you can really engage your community. I think we've found that stakeholder engagement, especially in event marketing, has shifted. Sorry, has shifted
No
through
problem.
to to be more about um, the kind of impact that it has to smaller elements of your community. So looking at kind of how it can impact in terms of an award ceremony, and like how can you change your event from just being just a trade show to being there for your stakeholders 365 days of the year, from like award events to smaller niche events throughout the year, like a summit or you know, we've done the EN 100s this year. That's been a
Mm-hmm.
real impact in terms of being able to get stakeholder buy-in from very top level of our community, but also really make sure that they're as engaged as possible. Like gamification, I think, has really impacted that role of stakeholder analysis and stakeholder engagement. And I think that, you know, things like the Event Design Collective, they've done an event design handbook. Like I grew up, like in terms of my university, reading that book and being able to apply it now in a different way, and being able to see how we can get buy-in from our attendees, but also from our exhibitors. Things like, you know, making sure our exhibitors have everything in advance, and if they have any question, like we're doing drop-ins for our exhibitors. Yeah, we're doing like lots of different things to make sure all different elements of our stakeholders have the best event they have
Mm-hmm.
possible, and there's no kind of way for them to be like, well, you've forgotten about us, because we that's the whole point of the event, is to make sure that they have a great event.
That's great. It's lovely to hear that. And as you mentioned about this gamification, I'd like to highlight the importance of or the growing trend of VR and AR, especially in events. So, how do you see the role of technology in event marketing? Like any specific tools or platforms that you have noticed in event marketing, which you see as evolving over the years?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a HubSpot girly. Like, we use HubSpot mainly for Mash Media, and I think that's really kind of shifted for us in terms of going from just using it for social media and for sending emails to being able to do a whole registration through HubSpot. And like that is like, so we've kind of taken that element of third party registration out of there. and really building it in so that we own that data, because that's our biggest commodity. And I think that technology in terms of like being able to clean your data and being able to make sure that when you do have engagement on social, we've used Octopost in the past to schedule, so that when somebody does like or comment on our posts on social media, it comes through to our HubSpot and we can see who's been engaged, and we can see exactly kind of in the sales funnel exactly kind of where they've seen a post to be able to then become an exhibitor. I love the new technology ManyChat, which we engage with in Instagram. So if somebody like comments Reg, ManyChat will automatically send them a DM with the registration link. So it takes out
great.
that, yeah, I'm
Great.
obsessed. Yeah, so there's little bits of technology that are coming through, and obviously, like I've said before, the event marketing referral platforms like Ingo and Gleanin and such. But we use Ingo, and that's been really helpful for us to see which speakers and which sponsors and which exhibitors have been the most has played that, because essentially you want to kind of work with the 20% that gives you the best results. You don't kind of want to make sure you kind of refine that every single time, so that you're really making the most out of your event marketing, and you're not kind of spending loads of time on something that you know is actually going to get no results.
So it was interesting to hear about some of the latest tools that you highlighted, especially the one that sends registration. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So, uh, now, before we wrap this conversation, Georgina, if you would like to say something to all those who are stepping into the world of event marketing, as 2024 have been a learning experience. So, if you had to highlight a few lessons, what would it be? And any advice that you would like to offer to all the newcomers who are enthusiastic about coming in event marketing, please.
Yeah, I definitely think that a lesson from 2024 is to be organized. I've obviously taken on International Confex very late in the day, and I think that just keeping organized between the two portfolios, like I've been very lucky. Obviously, I'm still within the same company, so all the processes are the same, but me keeping as organized as possible, I think kind of sometimes gets lost in the busyness of it all. And yeah, I think it's just kept me from kind of, when I'm moving from exhibition news to International Confex, it just kept me kind of sane, making sure that I was as organized as possible. And yeah, and I think that navigating 2025 coming into the field, I think, not being scared of asking for help. I definitely found that when I obviously kind of got the role and I was really excited for it, I immediately sent some messages out being like, if you could just spare 20 minutes to kind of tell me your one expertise on event marketing, what would it be? And just so I kind of really had the best advice coming into International Confex, and making sure that that the event was as good as possible. I wasn't missing any tricks and tips. And yeah, I've had so many people come and give me advice and support. And I think that, knowing that no matter where you are in the world, that those conversations are always welcome, because people in this industry really do want to help each other. And there's definitely some kind of people that I follow on LinkedIn that I really look up to and appreciate. And I think that those people that are really kind of giving back to the community, like in a really niche way, which is supporting us and, answering questions and, posting about their successes and their failures and their challenges. And, that's kind of really what's been amazing about 2024 going into 2025, is knowing there'll be more of that honesty and that vulnerability, but also that support.
That's great. And the one thing that you mentioned about the collaborative part and the helping nature in this industry is it's very true over here. So it was very good talking to you, Georgina. Thank you so much for sharing your
Thank
insights
you.
and expertise with us today. It was an absolute pleasure learning from you, and I'm sure our listeners must have taken plenty of actionable ideas to implement in their own strategies. So, cheers to a bigger and brighter 2025 in event marketing. Bye bye. We'll see you in our next discussion. Until then, take care.
Thank you.
Any closing words you'd like to say to our listeners?
No, I think that's obviously if you can make it to International Confex, it'd be great to see you there on the 26th and 27th of February at Excel London. But yeah, hopefully we'll get to see you guys there.